and this is Lit Happens, your celebration of the literary arts here in Saskatchewan. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome our guest, Orit Shimoni. Orit is a singer-songwriter, she's an author, she's a friend of mine, and I'm just so pleased to have her with us today. Orit, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
So you are not from Saskatchewan. Most of our guests are from Saskatchewan, but you're not really from anywhere right now.
On the road 10 years. I used to answer the question, I'm not from anywhere, or I don't live anywhere. And now I say I live everywhere.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you've been writing and you've been recording for a long time as well.
Yeah.
What was it that led you to want to write songs? What was it inside of you that needed to get out?
That's a very good question. I don't actually remember the origins of that. It's just something I always did. I didn't ever call myself a writer until a decade of writing had passed. So I didn't identify as a writer. I just did it.
And so when you think about what inspires you to write, I know your stories behind the stories are so very interesting. What are your favorite ways that stories come to you in song?
I think it's a problem-solving thing for me. Like there's a philosophical or moral or emotional puzzle that I feel anguished by or stressed by, and writing it out is a way for me to kind of work it out and solve it. But I really don't have the instinct to make it a song unless I think it's a universal. If it's just personal, it's not compelling enough to turn it into a song.
And I think that even though your stories can be different than someone else, there's always that thread that ties us together. There's those places that we connect because of, as you say, the universality.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite things to write about?
Love, life, relationships, social situations, philosophical, existential existence. It's all, really every aspect of what it means to be human. I think when I have that inkling that I have an experience or a thought, feeling, emotion, and I realize this is just so human, that's what makes me put pen to paper.
And you have been criticized for not writing enough happy songs.
There's not a problem to solve in my joy. And so when I'm feeling joyful, that's not when I'm putting pen to paper. That's when I'm out in the world playing and enjoying. And it really is a problem-solving tool for me, writing.
And you have great stories about being on the road, and you're writing a memoir now. So tell me a little bit about that.
I think what happened was, I've been touring, living out of a suitcase, and because I stay with different people all the time, I found myself telling the same anecdotes from place to place, or I'll share it on social media, and people were saying, you should write a book. And I realized I should write a book because every anecdote, as specific as it is to being on the road, has something that's human. And my personal life as a touring musician is so unique and specific to that lifestyle, but there's always something about just being alive that I can find as it's just a metaphor. Being on the road is a metaphor for being alive. And so it just lends itself to a nice metaphorical framework.
And people are they're drawn to the story that connects, but also they're drawn to the story that, wow, that's something different that I've never experienced before.
Yeah, there's a point of fascination as far as other people are concerned. How do you live out of a suitcase? How do you, manage all these different people that you have to meet all the time? And it is. I think writing it for me makes me, because when you're so busy living it, you don't think about how strange or difficult it is. But as I'm writing it, I realize wow, this has been a really trying experience in many ways. And so it's a good, sometimes I don't understand something about myself until I've written it. So it's a very therapeutic tool as well.
And are there things that surprise you when you're writing?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. As I think and that's true in songwriting as well, that there's a sort of thing that gets you started, but the hook, you don't know what that is until you've written it. And I've noticed that in short story memoirs, in the longer essays I write, in the songs I write, in poems, that as I'm digging the truth of why something struck me enough to write a song, there's a surprise element to it that is obviously coming from somewhere inside of me, but I didn't have conscious awareness of it until it got written. And I find that kind of miraculous and surprising every time.
And you spoke about a song coming from
From my lips.
You do talk about the stories in the body and
Yeah.
how they come out.
Yeah. I don't know if that's something I felt. I've always felt like I know that when I'm writing, I always tilt my head a certain way. And I feel like I'm listening for it to drop into me. I don't know where they come from. I don't know what that I don't think I'm the only one who describes the experience that way, but it's something that I notice that I'm listening for something to come into me. And then it is a combination of like from deep within my toes or my hips or my belly or my chest, but also the sound of the words as they should be, the rhythm and all that kind of external decorative aspect of language is really something that comes from above somehow.
And so do you see a difference when you're writing the songs as when you're writing memoir?
Yes.
Do you listen in the same way, or are things coming from a different place?
To an extent. I think when I'm writing the memoir, I know the anecdote that I'm working on, and the similarity to songwriting is looking for that rhythm in language so that it has a nice flow for the reader. And I think I, for some reason, have an instinct for that. So, and with the songs, it's almost only that. And then I'm often quite surprised by the content because I've just been listening for how the words should fall into place and then go, oh my God, the song is about that. Because the songwriting usually starts with one line for me without necessarily knowing the story or the topic. Whereas the memoir, I know the story or the topic. Yeah, it's different.
And when you write songs, do they come to you quick, or do they?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, surprisingly. They come in quick and they come out quickly. Yeah, which I think is lucky in a way because I know there's other songwriters who, try to have 10 by the end of the year for a new album. And I've got a suitcase full of songs that I'm just waiting for the chance to record. So don't know why I'm like that. They just come.
And you get opportunities to record in all sorts of interesting places.
The universe has been very kind to me because I'm very outside of the box when it comes to music industry. Mostly because I don't know anything about it, or I didn't when I started. And the recording opportunities came from just playing live shows and having people who happen to have recording studios respond to what I do and offer their services to me. And that means that I can record in different countries with different musicians. And that's been very joyful for me. That's a wonderful experience.
And there's joy in the songs, even when they're sad songs, as people say. And there's something we learn from your songs and your stories. So I've been really lucky to hear you sing and to hear you tell your stories.
Thank you very much.
And let's just mention you also write children's books as well.
Yeah, I used to be a school teacher, and it was really important to me to keep at least part of my brain engaged in the world of education and how we can talk about certain themes with children. And so writing children's stories was a way to keep doing that.
Well, Orit, we're out of time already.
That happens quickly.
It goes by so quickly, but I'm so grateful that you were able to come and spend a few minutes with us.
Thank you very much. This is always wonderful to get to talk about what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Danica Lorer, and this is Lit Happens, your celebration of the literary arts in Saskatchewan. Thank you for watching. You can find past episodes by going to Shaw TV Saskatoon on YouTube. You can connect with me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And if you want to get a hold of me, I'm at danicalorer@gmail.com.